Hello everyone, this is RaySpace and welcome back to, well, this is RP-2000 in Kerbal Space Program 1.12 with Realism Overhaul. I haven't been here for a while, but I'm only here to mention that it is compatible with KSP Interstellar and USI. It comes with configurations for those. Somebody in the comments to the Far Future video had asked for compatibility. It's not fully compatible. There are a lot of new parts to KSP Interstellar that I didn't get around to making compatible, but you can see up here that dusty plasma fission fragment. I don't even know if some of these are Far Future or if they are KSP Interstellar. Some of them, like the warp drive, are not marked compatible. A lot of times they are because they are warp drives, but sometimes it's because the parts changed. So actually an older version of this candle engine was marked compatible, but the newer version is not. So I have to go around and fix that. But there are a lot of parts in the latter portion of Community Tech Tree. The reason for RP-2000 was to allow the use of Community Tech Tree with Realism Overhaul and Real Solar System, but by default, Realism Overhaul is only compatible with RP-1. That is the career mode for Realism Overhaul, but it has a totally different tech tree that other parts are not configured for. A lot of parts, though, futuristic parts especially, are configured for Community Tech Tree, and so it's nice to use Community Tech Tree with it. The older version of the RO career mode, RP0, was built on Community Tech Tree, which was helpful. So I decided to reintroduce the Community Tech Tree version of the career for Realism Overhaul and Real Solar System, but unfortunately, versions of Realism Overhaul after 17.4.1 do not allow a different career mode than RP1. So you would have to use an RO version before 17.4.1, which is not too bad, I don't think. So then we can use Community Tech Tree, and Near Future should be configured, placed in it. Far Future should be placed in it. I don't know if we can find some Far Future parts. And you have my permission, even if it's marked non-RO, you can use those parts. I just have to get around to it. But I'm pretty sure these spherical tanks, well, there's from somebody. Anyway, there's a lot of parts out here. That one doesn't have one. Experimental motors would be tough. Experimental aircraft engines, we've got a few, but those are pretty normal. Here we've got diode laser array and those sorts of things up there. I don't actually know where exactly Far Future happens to be. Well, there's a magneto-inertial fusion engine from somebody. So you've got your fusion stuff. These are marked non-RO, but I'll again get around to it. And there's a Vulcan nuclear smelter. So they're here. They just need to be marked, but some of them probably do need to be tweaked a bit. But there's the lithium tanks from Far Future, I'm sure. And then down below there's the USI stuff, so you can recognize the USI Duna logistics. USI stuff tends to be marked work in progress because those were the first things that I configured. So I decided to just mark it work in progress. This one is non-RO because that was a new part, obviously. But otherwise, a lot of them are work in progress. Hopefully they'll show up still. But I'm thinking of making a GitHub repository for all of my RO configs for other mods. Obviously not for my own mods. Mine's just come with those. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure everything out here works perfectly in RO and Real Solar System with real fuels and all that business. Like, they have tech upgrades and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure if it all works, but because it's Community Tech Tree, it should work. The tech upgrades are paired with the Community Tech Tree levels. But basically, I really need to continue playing RP-2000 in order to find out whether these work or not, right? That was sort of the purpose of the playthrough. Hopefully, people might be interested in watching me play it, then I can do it. But otherwise, it's tough to edit the videos and everything if nobody's gonna watch. So, frankly speaking. Hopefully, though, it's helpful to people. I'll link RP-2000 in the video description. It is an alternate career mode for Realism Overhaul that will let you use the futuristic parts more easily. It's built on the stock sort of system of how things work, and you have generic parts in the main part of the tech tree, so that you can imagine that you're developing those parts. The non-generic parts, like things that have an identity that are real-life engines, like this one. I don't have any special RO engine parts. These are just the stock parts configured as real-life engines. Those are shoved off to the side in this bracket back here and those down there, so that they don't get in the way of you developing. The pricing is such that these would cost more than the parts you develop yourself, but the research and the unlock cost is higher for these. So you'll have a lower unlock cost for stuff that's already been developed, but the unit costs will be more. And then the cost of these is less, but you have to pay the upfront cost of developing it, and you also have to get the science for it. You do have to give these guys a little bit of science in order to unlock each one, and they're grouped by their manufacturer, generally speaking, though with some simplifications. So Blue Origin parts will go here and such. If people want to configure things for RP-2000, that's fine too. It's pretty loose. It's not as rigorous as RP-1. But I just thought I should remind people that it has this capability where, as long as mods are configured for Community Tech Tree, they'll be mostly configured for RP-2000, except for the pricing might be a little bit weird. But then who knows what these things would cost anyway. How much does a warp drive really cost? Well, right now that cost says that it's $6.6 billion basically. So I don't know. I don't know how much one would cost. Probably the antimatter or whatever else, whatever goes into these sorts of things, you have to have a reactor and all, would cost more as well. The radiators and everything. So anyway, so that's just a reminder about RP-2000. The career mode will be linked in the video description with that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.